I think that we didn't really go into this project with any specific expectations. I don't think we really thought that coming back after as long as we did and who we are and the playing field being what it is now, that we would come back and make a record that would be judged against, you know, other huge acts that are out right now and be, enter the charts and high position or anything approaching that. And like Rick said, originally it was just going to be something that maybe we put out on the internet for our fans. And it's just like the beginning. When we made our first record, we had no idea either. I remember we always just said, well, this was so much fun, I hope we sell enough records to make another one. And now, we made another one again, and it was fun. Rick doesn't like that word, but it was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable experience. And once you let go of your baby and release it out into the world, you have no idea what people are going to make of it or do with it or anything. And so, just speaking personally, I'm a little overwhelmed by what's happened.
Listening to Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast. The Panorama's #1 source for news, reviews, and thoughts about the new wave rock legends, the Cars. Oh, and a little bit of Seawolf, Sunshine, and Rainbows.
Welcome to Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast, episode 52. I'm Dave, God of Thunder. That's a Avengers reference for you people.
That's a Kiss reference.
No, it's Thor, God of Thunder.
Introduce me so I can talk.
And joining me is our co-host, Sweet Purple June.
Hey!
Whose only superpower is sarcasm.
Wait, what? No, that's God of Thunder and Rock and Roll. That's Gene Simmons. That's Kiss.
Yeah, well, it's Thor first.
Oh, not first.
Have you not seen Endgame?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
You're not even into it, are you?
I love the Avengers movies. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Oh.
I'm just not a big, we're busy with the wedding, and yeah, there's just not. I haven't had time to see it yet, but I will. Oh, I will.
All right.
We've talked about this because I'm an Iron Man. Like the Iron Man versus Captain America. I'm Iron Man.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. You're Iron Man, right?
I'm Team Cap.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Team Cap. So anyway, your reaction to my God of Thunder kind of reminds me. This week I was with the sick grandchild.
Yes.
The 2-year-old, and her thing is Blippi.
Which I never heard of that. Uh-uh.
Blippi is this man child.
Like Pee Wee Herman?
I described it. Kind of like Pee Wee Herman on YouTube. Does all this educational stuff. Okay. So she wants to watch Blippi. She's sick. We're watching Blippi all day. We watched every episode twice. But we're sitting there, we're watching this episode about construction vehicles or whatever. And I'm doing my pawpaw thing. I'm going, oh, look, honey, look, it's a digger machine. And she looks at me and goes, excavator. I was like, crap, I just got owned by a 2-year-old.
That's right. She got schooled.
It's a digger machine.
Do you talk to her in that voice?
I can't do my papa voice, but it was something like, look, honey, it's a digger machine, trying to make it all simplified for her.
Yes.
Excavator.
That's
okay.
funny.
Gotcha.
Okay, I guess we can level up with the vocab. Yep.
Yeah, no kidding.
You're going to have to bring your A game, Dave.
No kidding. Yeah, I know. No kidding.
That's that.
All right.
So I'm glad she's feeling better.
Yes, she is much better. She had that nasty stomach flu virus stuff, people. It was gross. I got puked on. But she puked with love.
Aw, and she's so cute.
Yeah, she is cute. So, well, in the news,
yes,
we know that the Boston trip is just a little over a month away.
Yes.
It's coming soon.
Oh, I know. So, and it's just, I have to compartmentalize everything in my brain, and I can only think like to certain dates, and then I can't really think beyond those. I have to just go date to date, when things get super busy. So this next week, my son's getting married on the 18th, so everything is funneling, and also I volunteer with this kids club, and so that's also coming to an end that same weekend, and we have this awards night thing, and so all of that's happening this weekend. So it's this really tight funnel of like every day on my planner is covered in graphite. It's all my notes of all the stuff I have to do, and then the weeks after that are just practically blank. And so once I get past this coming up weekend, the 18th and 19th, then things are busy with the book, but they're really going to get high energy action going now, preparing, because my next big thing will be that June 22nd event. So I'm looking forward to it so much.
So today is the 8th anniversary of Move Like This.
Yes.
Could we have timed this podcast any better?
I think we did it on purpose.
Yeah, I think we might have. So I was looking back on the car's official Facebook.
Okay.
And that one picture of all the boys in the
studio.
There you go. See, you're just like my granddaughter. I was going to say music making place. Anyway, that one picture, they posted that on July 13th, 2010.
Okay.
But we know that before they posted that official picture, there was that kind of leaked picture that had the guys and Jackknife Lee in it. And I don't know who did it or who got in trouble for it or whatever. It's like super secret. But still, I mean, you're talking, almost a year, a little bit under a year that they're posting a picture of them in the studio, for this forthcoming album. And, people lost their shit. They're like, what? What is this? Is this an old picture? People couldn't.
Oh, I'm sure they were totally confused. Yeah, what in the heck is going on?
Yeah. So they, for me at that time, it was literally a dream come true, because I always have these dreams throughout time since the Cars broke up of them putting out a new album or finding a lost album or something. And I would have these dreams where, I would see the album cover and even listen to some of the songs on it and then wake up and cannot remember anything about it. So it was really kind of surreal for me at the time that they were, putting a new album out. It's like, whoa,
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was really cool. And
because it was so early, as time went on, I mean, was there chatter of like, it must not be happening? Or, has anybody heard? No, I guess the next thing that came up with it, though, I guess it wasn't too long, because was it like October or something? They released Blue Tip, Months, and Sad Song, I think.
Yeah, they did
months
Blue
before.
Tip, then Sad Song, and then Free, and those little cool video snippets.
Right.
That they put up there. But yeah, but they, had the, I think maybe a day or two before the album was officially released, they had a deal on SoundCloud or something where you could just listen to the album.
Okay.
And I listened to it when they released it. It was like available for 24 hours or something like that.
Okay.
So that's when I first heard it. But when it finally released on May 10th, which I think that same day they did their first concert
in
gig.
Seattle, right?
Yeah.
Seattle was their first.
But then, we started getting all these interviews and so forth with the guys in the band, and they're kind of like with Joe and the Orr book. They got the same question over and over. Instead of, what led you to write this book? It was, so how did you guys get back together after 24 years? I bet you I heard that same question half a dozen times in interviews,
Oh yeah. Yes. And then of course, what was it like without Ben being there? And
Yes, without Ben being there, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
those
and
are some big ones.
Rick always gave the same answer. Well, I had these songs, and then I just thought to myself, who would be the best guys to record these songs with? And I gave him a call, and da da da, and
Yep.
that kind of thing.
Yep.
So,
And then the other question, what was it like, working together again? Was it hard to get back in the groove? No, it was as if no time passed. We
yeah.
just got right back into it. Which is great.
Yeah, it is great.
Yeah. And we'll just let listeners know too, because I'm Team Ben, but I'm going to really try to curb that. We've already done a show. It was episode 11 where we discussed what the Move Like This album might have been like had Ben still been alive. That was a lot of Bens in one sentence. If if Benjamin had still been alive, what would that album be like? And so we did a whole episode on that and discussed that. So it's a given, I think, and not that we can't discuss it a little bit, but it's a given that there's the album lacks Ben's luster. I mean it's a given, I think, and but we've discussed that at length. So I hope people will go and listen to episode 11, and we'll just try to focus on Ben wasn't around for that, so based on it is what it is. Let's dissect the album that way. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
because we went through and discussed, what songs would Ben have sang lead on. Songs that you could definitely miss Ben's backing vocals and those kinds of things. And yeah, that was all covered in episode 11.
And we talked about if we even thought Ben would have agreed to do the reunion, and we discussed things like that a little bit. And so it was good. It was a good episode.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember any of it, but that's how I am.
Well, you then should go back and listen to that episode, Dave.
I should. So, and the other thing is, though, that we've done album dissections for every single Cars album, and part of that dissection is me playing the album kind of in the background. It's not meant to sound good. It's just meant to have a reference for Donna and I to discuss things over.
Yes. Now, before we jump into songs, though, a couple of notes that I had that I thought were interesting was that in an interview, David Robinson said that he had literally not picked up the drumsticks for 23 years. When the Cars were done, he stopped playing the drums. It wasn't like he fiddled around at home with them or anything like that. He was done. And then he went, the first time they got back together to play, they recorded it, he said, which I would love to hear. But they recorded the session. They all got back together and played. He said he listened back to it. And he said, I was ashamed and embarrassed at how terrible I was on the drums. But I mean, granted, he hadn't picked them up for 23 years, but he said it was awful. So he had to really sort of retrain himself and get back into it, which I thought was interesting.
Huh.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yes, it is. And I will post that interview in our group where he talked about that. And then the other thing that I thought was, and I know we've talked about this, and I don't mean to beat a dead horse, people, but Move Like This debuted on the Billboard charts at number 7. Debuted at number 7.
Yeah.
That's huge. I think pre-releasing the music and those video snippets, and people were so excited about, there's just all this hype that led up to it. So when it came out, I mean, it just hit the charts. But then they had their little mini tour, and this is just one of my sticks in my craw sort of thing, because I just feel like they could have done so much more for promotion of this album. people were eager for it. And several reviews that I read talked about how it sounded so mainstream. These songs could be on today's charts. And I just think they didn't, sort of in the traditional Cars style, it doesn't seem like they did a lot to really push it, to really keep it relevant, to really make a splash with it.
Yeah.
Outside of the groups. What do you think? I mean, outside of the the basic Cars fans, it doesn't seem like they campaigned to get a new listening audience.
Yeah. Well, in defense of the Cars management or whatever, they really don't promote anything a whole lot.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like in classic Cars style, they just don't do that.
Yeah, they don't. We talked about Brain Dead and how they didn't say one word about Brain Dead, not one word.
Yes.
Who knows? It was cool to have the little video snippets of those first 3 songs as they went along, and having the free listening party on SoundCloud. That was cool.
Yeah. And what was your buddy's name? He did a whole podcast episode on it, the one that inspired you to start our podcast.
Oh, Eddie.
Eddie, yeah. I remember listening to that episode. I think you had sent me the file maybe or somehow I got a hold of it and listened to his. Oh, and he was just giddy. Yeah. Absolutely giddy over the album. It was so great.
It was very cool. And plus he made fun of big salads, so that was great.
So that was awesome. And I believe Noel called into that podcast.
Did he?
Yeah.
I did too.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, very exciting. We should see if it's okay to post that podcast in our group. That'd be fun.
I don't know if Eddie's even active anymore. He's still on Facebook, and his blog that he used to do for Rick Ocasek is still up, but it hasn't been posted to or anything in years.
Is that daily events blog?
Yes.
Oh, is that him?
Yes.
I love making those connections.
Yeah.
Wow, I want to find him and just squeeze him. I want to send him some Huckleberry Taffy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
No, I love that blog. I've scoured that thing. I love that. It's a great resource.
Yes. Well, fans of the Frozen Fire email list will remember Eddie as, and no offense to you, Eddie, if you're listening, as a troll. He would start a lot of stuff, and it was just hilarious.
Oh man.
He just would. That's just him. So.
Well, I wonder if you think it's okay. Well, you'll have to let me know because I'm sure I have that audio still. I can make a little thing that we can post in the group if you think he wouldn't mind. I don't know.
The link is still there on Blog Talk.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah. Maybe we can just do it then. Since he's
that's what he
out there.
That's what he did it on. He did it on Blog Talk Radio.
Awesome. I'm gonna make a note.
Yep.
Post Eddie's podcast. All right.
All right, but let's get rolling.
Okay.
With Move Like This. Starting off with a song that, man, if this song doesn't say the Cars are back, I don't know what does.
Right?
Yep.
What a great way to start this album.
Yes.
It's so perfect.
Gotta love it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, what's not to love about this song? It's got a catchy arrangement, awesome lyrics.
Oh, yeah. Fun chorus to sing.
Yep.
Will you turn it down just a smidge?
No, Mom.
Oh, David! David, turn that down.
But it's kind of a bold statement from Rick about society.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the song Door to Door. Yeah, I know you don't like that song, but they had the video, the one with this, a good video that actually had their silhouettes that went into the design of the album cover.
Yes, that was very good.
Everything was good. Then after that first video, they went, I don't think we want to do anymore.
Who can we outsource this to?
We'll do this one. Well, you can do our silhouettes.
Yeah.
But nothing else. But still very, very well done. Very, very good video. I like it a lot.
Yes.
And this song just, put things into motion. I don't think this was like a first single. I think Sad Song was probably the only one that got any radio airplay as far as I know.
Well, no, this one, I remember that Ken said he would hear this playing in the grocery store where he works. He manages a grocery store. He would hear, when he first heard it on, the Muzak or whatever, he knew immediately it was the Cars. So it's at least got that far.
Huh.
I don't know if is going straight to Muzak. Is that the same as going straight to DVD?
Straight to video? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, but I think you're right. Sad Song was the only officially released single, but Move Like This got some play too. I mean, not Move Like This. Blue Tip got some play too. And it's great lyrics in here. I mean, they're again fun to sing and quirky. Like that.
Yeah, this is definitely a song that I've been listening to the album all week, and I've cranked this one up the loudest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if other people have mentioned this or not, but there's an overabundance of bass in this song, so much that it rattles your speakers. So I tend to turn the bass down.
Yes.
When I listen to this song, just because I don't like the rattling.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the dudes that you encounter at like 12:30 at night in downtown who pull up next to you, and all you hear is the, that kind of.
Yes. Well, and it's worth mentioning that they, again, we're not gonna. I'm not meaning to go off on a Big Ben thing, but they did not replace Ben with a bass player. Greg took over bass duties. Did some of it on the guitar and some of it on his synthesizer, and did an amazing job, I think.
Yes. Yeah. When this song ends, this is just one of those kind of situations with like you have the songs on the different Cars albums that flow into each other. Mm-hmm. And even though this doesn't truly flow into it, but the way Blue Tip ends and Too Late starts up, I consider them kind of partners on this album.
Yeah.
And Too Late is my favorite song on this album.
Yes.
So I just love this part when Blue Tip ends with that boom, and then Too Late starts up.
Let her rip.
I hope you can hear it because my mom told me to turn it down.
We can hear it just fine, David.
Yeah. But man, Dave Robinson's drumming on this cut is iconic to me in the same way that the drum fills on Let's Go and Touch and Go or Maybe Baby are. It's just one of those kind of songs where it's like, wow, Dave Robinson kills it on here. And I think I've talked before, I could not duplicate the drum fills on this song when I'm listening to it.
Yeah.
Except the very last verse, I can do it because it's a little bit different. But I can't do it. It's just too complicated for my lack of rhythm body.
Yeah, I think he did a great job. You can definitely feel his presence on the album. And that's, overall with the whole thing, the whole album, they're obviously all very present. I wish there was more Elliot.
Well, here's the fill.
Nice.
Can I tap that on table? No! I can't do it. I still haven't figured it out. It's been 8 years. I still can't figure it out. It'd be cool, though. I don't know how much moving in stereo, what songs from this album they do. But I tell you what, there's a few cuts on here I'd like to suggest.
Ooh, yeah. We'll have to ask them.
That the boys do. I mean, just say, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you guys learned this for Boston? There's just a couple songs here I think they should try.
Oh, yeah, I don't know if they could learn them in time for Boston. Do you think?
Why not?
Well, because they have jobs and other shows and... I don't know.
Your job is to entertain us, Donna. I'm sure they would agree.
I'll get right on it. Yeah, I'm sure they would. Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Curry.
Matter of fact, when I see Matt in Boston, I'm gonna poke a finger in his chest and just tell him, "Your job is to entertain us, pal."
Catchy tunes,
sure Matt will,
sexy album covers.
That's right.
Okay, I'll go tell the boys.
Which also leads me to digress again. Moving in stereo. Get T-shirts.
Yes.
You want T-shirts, man.
I know. That would be awesome.
What size do you wear, Donna?
Why?
What size T-shirt?
Why? It depends on the shirt.
I just want to know what size T-shirt.
I wear Donna's size. What size do you wear?
I'm going to say small. I wear a large.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to say is, guys are moving in stereo. All you need to do is make 2.
There you go. Yeah.
One for me, one for Donna.
They're perfect.
I wear size large. Well, and whatever size Donna wears.
I'll take a large so it can be
which
like
I'm guessing is a small.
No, it's not a small. I wish it was a small. Well, but you know what? It depends on the shirt, because some shirts are, especially ladies cut shirts, girls wear their shirts so tight these days all the time that they're too tight for me. I like a nice roomy shirt. So I'll take a large.
No way.
Sure.
How can you wear the same size shirt as me, Donna?
Because the ladies' cuts are different. If I was going to get a man's shirt, I would get a medium.
Gotcha.
But I would get a girl's shirt. In fact, right now I'm wearing the Cars, the one with the silhouettes on it, and that says the Cars in yellow, and it's on a red shirt, and it's a large.
But it's a women's cut.
Women's V-neck, yeah, large.
Okay, yeah. I understand. So there goes our lesson on women's clothes, folks.
Check that out.
Glad we digressed to that.
Right.
Yeah. So what do you think of the song Too Late? Where do you rank it on this album?
Oh, where do I rank it? It's right up there. Let's see. I should have gone through and numbered my top ones. It's tough. But I'd say it's in it's in the top 4.
Really? Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I just love this song.
Yes, it's very, very good. And of course, sorry.
Well, I was just saying, it's not a... God, what are we on Blog Talk Radio again?
That's right. Oh, we're just reminiscing. The good old days.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that it's not up there with It's All I Can Do
right.
as far as my favorite cars, or Just What I Needed. Those are my 2 faves, but it's there. It's in the top 3.
Of your overall favorite of all the Cars?
Of my overall favorite Cars songs, yeah.
Oh, nice.
But this song it reminds me of It's All I Can Do, just the vibe of it, I guess.
Well, and I actually had that on my notes, and part of the reason is because you can hear his fingers sliding on the guitar, just like you can in It's All I Can Do. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Oh, you were taking a drink.
Yes. No, I was tweeting.
No surprise.
No surprise there.
Yes, yeah, I had that in my notes too, that there's a similarity there somehow. It's interesting because a lot of the songs on this album, well, and of course it shouldn't be a surprise because it's the Cars. And so of course it's going to sound like the Cars. But there are a lot of little tweaky things like that are sort of throwbacks to their older albums or older songs or older style. And yet this is, because it's not the classic rock of, the first 2 or 3 albums. It's not the new wave synthy pop of Heartbeat City. It's got its own wedge, but it's still so distinctively the Cars. And so there are things like that, like the things that make me think of Best Friend's Girl, or It's All I Can Do, or Moving in Stereo. Some of Greg's little tweaky synthesizer stuff. It just throws me back to those things. Mm-hmm. And yet you can't say, oh, it's just like that. It's just reminiscent of it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
For sure.
That they were able to continue inventing their sound. They didn't just try to rehash, here's how we used to sound. It was still a progression.
Agreed.
Now you're tweeting.
So, No, I'm not.
Okay.
So from Too Late, it goes into Keep on Knocking.
Yes.
This is a song that kicks ass.
It's rocker, isn't it? It's got that guitar.
I love the way this song just builds and builds and builds.
Yeah.
You know, Greg's little keyboard sound there, it just sounds like something's going to erupt.
Cauldron's bubbling.
And this is one of the songs that you can have in your headphones and walk down the street and feel totally badass.
You don't walk with this one, you strut.
No, you strut with this song. Yeah. And I think I said before, this song is like Misfit Kid 2 to me, in that it's about, you know, Rick's relationship with the promo people, the, you know, record people, that kind of vibe, the parties, and this kind of stuff that they're still trying to get, you know, come on, Rick, and he's just, you know, kind of saying, I'm not into it.
Right. It's not his scene.
I'm still not into it, and you're still knocking.
That's right. Yeah, I agree. For me, somehow, this reminded me of Don't Go to Pieces. And again, obviously not in the music, but just that, because that has a real attitude to it, too. I don't know. I can't really pinpoint why, but I just sort of wrote that down, maybe the way the lyrics are, and yeah, the attitude is a lot like Don't Go to Pieces to me.
And, you know, this song is the only song on the whole album where Elliot has a definite lead.
Yes.
Solo.
Oh, that's what I started to say a little bit earlier, is that I really wish that there was more Elliot on this album. He has some...
Well, you know, I have a theory about this, though.
Okay.
But go ahead. You go ahead and finish what you were going to say.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, there's obviously, his presence is there, and he definitely does some great little things in there. But he doesn't seem as prominent. It's a very Greg-driven album, similar to Heartbeat City, I think. It's very synthesizer-driven.
Yes.
So, go ahead.
Well, I just think that, you know, a lot of people notice the big glaring omission of Elliot's leads on this album. Mm-hmm. And I just think that's just the kind of songs that Rick was writing at this particular moment in time.
Right.
Okay? So, like, for example, if they had, you know, Rick has said in interviews before, he's made distinctions between Cars songs and solo songs. Mm-hmm. And that, you know, that may be true. Sometimes I have a hard time believing it, but, you know, I take him for his word.
Right.
But, you know, he's got albums like Negative Theater. I don't see any of those songs from Negative Theater being on a Cars album, you know.
Right.
But I do see some, you know, insight into this album when it comes to that. And that's that during this particular time, you know, that's the kind of music he was writing. And if, you know, say if they had reunited around that first time when they were talking about reuniting, mm-hmm. you know, Rick was in his troubleizing album mode. And all those songs, or I see a majority of those songs, have lead guitar solos in them.
I see, okay.
And, you know, so if they would have reunited then, I'm thinking that they would have put out an album that had a lot more of Elliot soloing in it. Right. But, you know, this was put out in 2011, and it's coming off of Rick's 2005 Nexter Day, which is very similar to this album in that there isn't your standard lead guitar solo parts in it.
Interesting.
It just has a certain, you know, vibe to it.
Right. Huh. I buy that.
So
I
don't think it was Rick saying, you know, I don't want to have Elliot do any solos.
Right.
It was just that these are the songs that I have, and, you know,
and this is our sound right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the song that I need a solo in it, and, you know, the rest of them, no. But and I'll, you know, discuss this as we go down, but there are other songs on this album where Greg does a lead like a keyboard lead that could have definitely been covered, by Elliot.
Right.
As a lead, but they didn't go that way. And I don't know how much it would change the song. But that's just the way it turned out.
Yeah.
I don't think it was any offense towards Elliot. I mean, he has a lot of great guitar work on this album.
Well, that's what I was going to say. He still has a lot of interesting things to do. I mean, when you listen to it in your headphones again and you start to sort of isolate and pick out what each person is doing, again, Elliot's very present. It's just different than his usuals.
And a lot of stuff that makes the Cars sound like the Cars, like in Blue Tip when it has that doon 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 part. I did just a bad job of just describing that. But that's Elliot doing a little guitar flourish, and it's Cars.
Right.
It's the kind of stuff that they do.
Yeah, I totally agree. I thought the solo in Keep on Knocking, it's okay. It's not bad. It doesn't seem like signature Elliot, but it fits in the song perfectly.
Yes.
And that's what Elliot does, is he makes the solo that goes with the song. It's not about Elliot, it's about the song. So that's how he plays. So it's good stuff.
I would be interested to know, how we have like the monitor mixes for Candy O, if there's some kind of monitor mix of them working on stuff that's different than everything else on here. Not necessarily demos that Rick did, but stuff where they were rehearsing and trying to get things together if they possibly recorded it, and if there is other arrangements to these songs.
I bet there is, because like I said in that interview that I'll post in the group, where David said they recorded their first session back together. I mean, so. I know. We talk about this all the time. Was it with
these songs, though? They could have been playing just anything.
True.
From their catalog.
Yeah. I just think that Rick I think he recorded everything, and I just know he's got stuff that I need to hear.
Yeah.
So, okay, so then we move into probably... This might be my number 3 favorite song on this album. Oh, I love this song so much. We move into Soon.
Yeah, I love this song too. It reminds me of my wife.
Aww.
It just does. It has that feel to it.
Yeah. Okay.
I never played this for my wife, saying, "Hey, honey, did you know this song reminds me of you?" Although I'm sure she's heard this song many, many times.
Yes.
In the car with me, and not paid attention to it.
Right, blocked it out.
Yeah, but just the whole line of "You're my lover and forever my friend."
Yes, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Now I have to ask you, because remember we discussed not very long ago that Rick has never written a song for Paulina, but don't you think that this had to have been about Paulina?
I think Rick's just not being truthful. This has to be about her.
It has to be, right?
Yeah.
It's one of his more straightforward songs. The lyrics are very obvious. It's not, how he usually does his sort of strange things, but it's open-hearted. It's so sweet. It's so real in terms of it's a couple that's been together for a long time, and I just think it's them.
Yeah, I do too. If I ever meet him in person, I'm going to stick a finger in his chest and say, "You know this is about Paulina."
Oh my gosh. You're going to get your finger knocked off one of these days.
Well, if it gets knocked off, it's going to be by Matt, not by Rick Ocasek. Come on.
True.
Well, let's be real. I don't even think I can reach up to Rick's chest.
I was going to say, you're going to have to stick it in his belly button.
Listen here, pal.
He's like, whoa! Get your finger out of there, kid.
Where are you putting that finger?
Yeah. Oh, he'll have his bodyguards all over you like nobody's business. He'll have those female security guards. Did you see those pictures of him at one of the Wentworth Theater things? And there's these just buff-looking female security guards tailing him.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They'll be all over you. They'll take you down like John Calish's, let me tell you.
I wouldn't. I would go for it, ladies. What can I say? But at this point in the album, what I really like is they go from Blue Tip, very high octane, bad pun there because it's Car's album, although I didn't mean it. And then it goes into Too Late, which is more laid back, whatever. Goes into Keep on Knocking, which just riff and rocks, and then into Soon. And then when this is over, I get to the end of this, I know I'm going to have to crank it up again, loud.
Yes.
Because the next song coming.
Yeah. I do love this one.
Yeah, and Greg's keys in this is just fantastic.
Do you think that this was intended to be the drive of this album? Or do you think it's just in...
Oh, I think there's lots of songs in this album that could be considered the drive, but yeah, possibly.
Yeah, maybe. It's so precious. It's one of the songs that makes me love Rick. Because, there's that whole... we've talked before. He gets a bad rap sometimes, and he's controlling, he's admitted it, and there's, pluses and minuses all the way around. And so there's times when I want to throttle him on different things from their history. And then there's things like this where I just love him. I hear the song, I hear him singing it, and I just love him.
Yeah, but a lot of his solo stuff is this style of music and songs and lyrics. A lot of his solo stuff is.
Yeah, well, see, I guess I've only
that's why I have a hard time believing that he's writes songs and just whatever it becomes. I mean, that may be true, but I also think that they gear when they're working the songs out more towards the Cars or more towards solo stuff.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, I'm sure, because if you're getting input from Elliot and David and Greg and Ben, it's going to become, an amalgam of all of their influence. But if he's just doing it himself, he's not going to, even if he tried to guess what the other guys would do, or even if it's just him and Greg, it's not the same. Each one adds their personality and their style to the songs they work on.
Well, I guess a good way to prove that is that, when you listen to the demo of Blue Tip and you listen to Blue Tip, very far apart on what he originally intended it to be and what it turned out to be. I don't know if I've asked you this. Have you heard that Blue Tip demo?
I was just going to say, have I heard it? Did we talk about it before? I can't think
Ben's
of it.
Polka Party is what it sounds like.
Wait, what?
The line that Judith Orr said.
Everybody's happy when they're dancing the polka.
That's right. That's what that reminds me of. Everybody's happy when they're dancing the polka.
Love that line so much.
Very polka-ish. It's really weird.
Wow, I'll have to find it. So is that out there in the world, or do you just have it?
Yeah. Well, what when this album was released, you had 3 different versions that I know of. Well, actually 4. Let's say if you bought it on Amazon, you're going to get just the straight album.
Okay.
It didn't have any extras on it, I don't think. I got mine at Best Buy.
Right.
And
okay.
Best Buy has the album, and then it has bonus material of One by One, demo of Hits Me, Rocket USA.
Right, okay.
And then it also has the videos for Sad Song and Blue Tip. It's an enhanced CD.
Nice.
On your computer. iTunes, if you ordered it off iTunes, it had the album, and then it had the bonus of the Blue Tip demo.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Because, bands like to do that kind of stuff now. Get it at Target, and you get this. And,
right.
It's a problem for people who want everything. But
right.
then again, that's the intention.
Of course.
How many, can we sell this album 3 times? Yeah.
You certainly can.
If we do it this way. Sure.
Nice. Well, I'll have to find that and post that too. I made a note.
Yeah, I bet you can find it on YouTube.
I'll have to do that. Yeah, because I want to hear because you're right, that's a good point, that if there's the demo of it already out there, we can discern the difference that collaborating with the other guys made on the final product.
Oh, It's a big difference, trust me. But when I originally got wind of the album, I pre-ordered on Amazon, and then I got it, but then I saw, oh, there's this extra stuff on the Best Buy one, so I got that. I went to Best Buy and picked it up, and then I ended up giving my other one to friends of mine who were Cars fans too, since it was just the basic album.
Nice.
But then when I saw on iTunes that it had extra, I'm like, you know what? I'm not buying it again. I'm past that kind of stuff. So,
Especially,
there you go.
Nowadays, everything's going to end up on social media anyway. You're going to hear it eventually.
Yeah.
So
from Soon, we got that slow song, and boom, it's going to go into a kick-ass song. The most Carsy song, I think, of the whole album.
Okay.
You agree?
No.
You don't agree?
No.
Well, then it could be one of the other ones that are coming up.
Yes.
But sad song.
It's
wow.
very Carsy. Yes, I do agree with you. I just don't think it's the most. I love the hand claps that they have the hand claps in here. And listen to that. It's almost my best friend's
guitar.
girl. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that's what they were comparing it to.
Yeah.
Got to admit, though, we said this before, the little promo clip that the Cars official put out for this song is a hell of a lot better video than the actual official video.
Yeah.
With the weird guy stealing the tears and souls of people, or
what
the hell
is
it is.
that? I think whoever did the "You Are the Girl" video must have returned and tried to redeem himself with that weird one.
It might have been. But this is another song I really like because it's a commentary of just this world.
Yes.
I really dig that about Rick Ocasek, how he, and he's been doing things like that since Time Bomb in '82, when on his Beatitude album.
Nice.
Is it Beatitude or is it Beatitude?
You beat me to it.
It's both.
Well, you skipped Ben's line. Shut up, Joshua. Wait a minute. That's actually a really good question.
Anyway, this is one of those songs that you could crank up in your car. Somebody could pull up next to you, and they've never heard it before, and you can tell this is the Cars.
Yes. Yep, I would agree with you on that. I love it too. It's just dancey. It's upbeat. It's fun. It's our band. It's like, this is our boys.
And this is a song that when it gets up the part where Greg does the I mean, here it is right here.
Yeah.
Now, something could have put in there Elliott lead, whatever, but it works better, I think, with the keys in it.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, I agree, because it's sort of like almost like a MC Hammer, break it down, but it's like,
yeah,
slow it up for just a second and then boom, right back into the lyrics.
Yeah.
The clap.
I'm kind of grooving.
I know, me too.
Well, we've said before that the reason why Donna and I really like doing these album dissections is we're actually sitting and listening to an album together, which is kind of cool.
So cool.
Yeah. I still would like to know what the video treatment was for this song, because it has no input whatsoever from Rick or boys, and it's just somebody going, okay, I'm gonna make this video for it. It's like a fan vid.
What? So wait, it wasn't his son, was it? Was it one of Rick's sons?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I can't remember. Which reminds me, the other question I have that I couldn't find an answer to was who did the album art?
I assume David did.
Yeah, I assumed too, but I don't remember. I don't remember knowing that as a fact. It wasn't on the Wikipedia page, and I didn't do a ton of deep research, but I couldn't find anything with a cursory investigation.
No, I just assumed it was David. I think, at that time, when this album came out, just before that, is when I got connected to Big Salad, and I seem to remember him saying something to the fact that it was, David took care of the artwork and so forth.
Okay.
I'm looking in the liner notes.
Oh, good idea.
Album package designed by David Robinson and Christo Tessarius. So there you go. There's your answer.
Nice. Okay, good. Gosh, it's sometimes just in the most obvious places that I forget to look. I listen to so much digitally that I forget to grab the physical.
Yeah, and the whole CD liner notes are pretty cool because it has their silhouettes again, and with the lyrics, which are great. Very cool.
Yeah.
I remember people were all confused because it made Elliot look like a righty, because you can see it both ways. Elliot's silhouette.
Oh, yes.
You know he's a lefty, and you know how it should go, but it's one of those deals. If you look at it a certain way, it looks like he's playing righty.
Yes.
And with 9 fingers.
I definitely noticed that there's a finger missing.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell in the silhouette. For sure.
Okay. Who did then there's I know this is a little off topic, but there's the mocked up album art with Ben in it, with the blue sky in the background for Ben, right?
You don't know who did that?
Well, I think I do. That was Kurt, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Kurt Livestream Gaber did that.
Oh my gosh, that conversation in the group.
We love Kurt. We love you, Kurt.
Love you, Kurt.
All right, so from Sad Song comes the other song that I think is very Carsy, but not as Carsy as Sad Song, which I think is a song straight from the style of Panorama.
Yes. Yes. And this is the one that, to me, I would vote as being the most Carsy.
The most Carsy.
The most Carsy.
Yeah. All right.
Free. I love it. This is my favorite song on the album.
And this had
I love it.
Official video that was done by Greg's son, Ian, and now it's gone. You can't find it.
Okay.
And it was so well done. It used live footage, and then it has a real nice part that goes black and white during a certain part of the song.
Oh, no, we did find that. We found it, remember?
Oh, we did find it?
Yes, okay.
Was it on video?
I put that on my notes, suppose. Yes, I'm pretty positive we found that. When we did episode 11, then we kind of went on a hunt for it, and somehow we got it. I'll search and see if I still have it somewhere.
Yeah, this song really kicks butt.
I love it. I love those background vocals.
Yeah, and this is another one where Greg kind of takes over the lead solo part in this. And, could it have been done by Elliot? I think it could have, but I think it would kind of change the song a little bit.
Yeah. I wonder if they did that. If they said, okay, let's do a run through, but Elliot, you do the solo part, and then we'll do Greg, and then we'll see. Oh, yeah, that sounds better. Where did it go?
They could have.
Oh, there it is.
They could have. Oh, I'm sorry. They could have arm wrestled to see who got the part.
Well, and Elliot would say, hey, I only have 9 fingers. I'm at a disadvantage. You're going to have to use my other hand.
Yeah, no kidding.
And didn't Greg used to be a boxer?
He did?
No, remember from that trivia quiz? What did Greg give up in order to do piano lessons?
He gave a box. He did. He gave a box. Yeah. I'm pretty sure his box name was the Angry Pomeranian.
Just another way you guys are alike.
Yep. Sure enough. This part here is where the video goes black and white. Kind of has a dreamy quality to it. And this song, man, it just builds and builds and builds.
Yes, and those background vocals are so perfect.
Yep.
Love it.
Sing it, Donna.
I am. Just no voice.
In your head?
Yes. Well, and that one's on my running playlist. I just love that song. I love it. That's my number one off this album.
So what do you think makes this very panorama-like? This part?
I think that keyboard part is very. It just has that similar sound. It's got a. No, I don't like the word. I don't like describing the Panorama album as dark. It's not dark to me, but it's just got that a little bit thicker, crunchier sort of. I don't know. Just has that sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really put my finger on it, but a little more rockin', and yet rockin' with the synthesizer and not so much guitar rock. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So free end, and then boom, Drag On Forever comes in.
Yes.
Now, this song I have a problem with.
Okay, good.
Here's why I have a problem with this song. When I saw Drag On Forever on the album listing, I thought, okay, I know this song. Where's this song from? And it was one of the extras on Rick's Next Day from 2005.
Was it?
Yes. And it's not markedly different on this album than it was as a demo extra on Nextra Day. You've got a little extra Greg, you've got a little extra Elliot in there, and I think it improves the song, but not enough to put it on another album.
Oh yeah, well, that's kind of bummer.
It's got the glockenspiel.
Well, yeah.
But I just kind of felt gypped.
Yeah.
On this. Would have rather they done, put One by One as a track on here as opposed to redoing Drag On Forever. But
right.
Their decision. But I know a lot of people like this song. A lot of people think this song sounds very car-ish.
Well, it sounds very car-ish to me in the sense that it's a lot like Fine Line, which I don't care for, because Drag On Forever to me does seem like it drags on forever, because it's got this sort of just stretched out sort of. I don't like the way he sings it. I don't like the way it just has this plodding sort of tempo. I don't know. But the one thing that redeems it, and the one thing, so I don't skip this song because I love Elliot's guitar in this. I love that relentless wow, 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 wow. Like, there's something about it. I love it.
Yeah. He's also got the ding.
Yeah. Yeah, his guitar in this, I think this might be my favorite Elliot song. Even though it's my least favorite song on the album, if I was just going to think of Elliot's role, this would be my favorite. And that's the thing that redeems the song for me is that, and it's probably not my least favorite actually, but yeah.
But there's still, I like how this album progresses all the way through. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got, starting off with Blue Tip, Slower, Too Late, Rockin' on Keep on Knockin', and I meant to rhyme that. Soon, then Sad Song and Free together, or Sad Song Free and this song together, mm-hmm. and then it goes back into kind of slower stuff.
Yes.
Before it, revs back up again.
Yes. About this point in the album is when I really do start to miss Ben, in the sense that one of the things that was always so great about the Cars albums was having the two vocalists. And so, I appreciate Rick's style, and I definitely enjoy his singing a lot more now than I ever used to. But but I do need a break from it from time to time, I guess. And I think that's why I haven't really gotten into a lot of his solo stuff, is because I just can't, just because I just need a break from it sometimes. And that's one of the great things about the Cars albums is, you hear a few songs from Rick and you hear a few songs from Ben, and it's great. And so I really need an infusion of Ben about this point in the album.
Yeah. Well, if you think about the thing that I think that people miss when it comes to Rick's solo stuff is the background vocals.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you take a song like True to You, Light of Paradise, that actually has, Benjamin playing on it, it has Elliot playing on it, it has Greg playing on it, and their background vocals.
Mm-hmm.
That's, it's working out great because of those. But there's a lot of albums, and we'll dissect those albums, I'm sure, in time,
mm-hmm.
that are just screaming for background vocals, period.
Right.
A lot of Extra Day, his last solo album that he's done. There's just like, when I listen to it, I love it, but I'm thinking it could have been that much better with some kind of background vocals in there.
Right.
And speaking of background vocals, the next song, Take Another Look, this is the one that I swear I can hear Ben in the background vocals. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But from the first time I heard it, I thought, oh, is it possible they had some kind of Ben background vocal on is this an old song or something, and they kept it or whatever? And I don't know if it's one, wishful thinking, or two, if I'm batshit crazy, or if it's like a combination of Greg and Elliot together, and I can just imagine
Ben being there,
Ben's voice being in there. I think it's a combination of Elliot's low on the scale background vocal and Greg's higher one, and they're kind of meshing together, and in between those two is kind of Benjamin's range usually on the background vocals.
Yeah.
So I just when they sing the chorus, Take Another Look, I just swear I can hear it. And this song starts out like a lot of Cars songs start out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With they just kind of a Greg sound going on, then they start into it.
Yeah. This has kind of that lush synthesizer sound from Greg.
Yeah. It's summer song, summer evening song.
Yes. It has that sort of rest on the front porch feel to it. Do you think that I was really listening to the lyrics of this song simply because of the one line where he says, the best of friends must pass?
Yeah.
So I went back and re-listened to the whole song, and I think that this could be autobiographical. I think this song could be referring to the breakup and the reunion of the band.
Wow, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. Don't you want to take another look away? Don't you want to play the whole thing down?
This could have been the song Rick thought, man, I need to get back together with the guys.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, if you read through the lyrics, the whole song really is just...
Maybe have another go around.
Mm-hmm. You played the game and now it's time to keep the fire low. Silver trains are rolling by, you have no place to go. Your eyes are dim, your heart is blue, 'cause nothing ever lasts. It's all too many miles to you, the best of friends must pass.
Yeah, and if you think about it, a lot of Rick's lyrics make a lot more sense on this album.
Yes.
But then again, like I said, on his solo, this is much closer to his solo type of songwriting than it was for the Cars. Yep, those silver trains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know. I just, listening to it in preparation for tonight, is when I first kind of got onto that, and it gave me a whole different perspective on the song.
There's a part that I hear Ben in.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the way the words are pronounced. Take another look, go away.
Yeah.
That's like a Ben thing.
Yes.
Who knows?
Those
Maybe
background...
sometime in the future it'll come out. Oh yeah, I had a vocal of Ben singing that.
Yeah. The background vocals are very Heartbeat City-ish.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's bad.
As long as they're not door-to-door-ish. Because you know how I feel about those.
Yes. Yeah, I like this song a lot. This is one of the... I mean, as we're going through this, I'm looking at the list, and I just like... This is such a good album. I always feel bad when people are like, I'm not listening to that. That's not really the Cars because Ben's gone. And I just couldn't believe the number of people that were just so adamant against it, you know.
Yeah.
But Ben's gone. It's not like they kicked him out and did something without him.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just they're missing out on a lot of really great music if they don't want to listen to it simply on that principle.
Yeah. I mean, this is the remaining members of our favorite band getting together and doing an album.
Yeah.
And yeah, there are a lot of people out there who still have not listened to this album.
I know.
And it's a shame. Listen to and enjoyed this album. I mean, it's 8 years old, people.
Yeah. Give it a try.
Holy crap.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Just try it.
I'd be interested. I need to post that on the Facebook page to see how many people have not heard this album.
Yeah.
Have not purchased it.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But, you know, to each his own.
Right. Yeah, I'm certainly not going to beat anybody up over it.
You're not going to poke them in the chest with your finger.
Or the belly button, for that matter.
Or the belly button, yeah.
Which is worse.
Yeah. So the next song, It's Only.
Yes.
Reminds me of a lot of Heartbeat City.
Okay.
And I also should mention, I know there's another song, and for the life of me, I cannot remember what song it is. But whenever I hear Rick sing Ricochet.
Yes, what was that?
I don't know. I think it's on Door to Door. I don't know. I'm old now. But in my head canon is that he's just using his French hotel check-in name when it says Ricochet. Your name? Ricochet.
Yes. What is it? Because remember I said, yeah, you know he spells it RICO''SHAY.
Yeah.
Ricochet.
Ricochet.
Gosh, what was that? And you know what? There are a few things on here that are little snippets of lyrics that you hear in other songs, which is, of course, now I can't think of any, but one is Tight and Warm. One of the songs he says you got to keep it really tight and warm, which he said.
Yeah. Delirious Skies is very Rick lyrics.
Yes.
That's a Rickism.
Isn't that in another song?
It might be. Feeling So Electrified.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, something. Yeah, there were a few of them in here that I thought either sounded a lot like or were phrases that I know I've heard in other songs. Which again, you know, I guess it shouldn't be a surprise that they're all written by Rick.
Oh, yeah. This is one of those podcasts where we probably should have done like a video podcast, just so they could see us, you know, bopping our heads.
That's that shoulder shaking.
Listening to the music and so forth. Yeah, but I mean, just take a listen to this song. I don't see a place where a lead guitar solo could be in this song. I don't. It's just not. It's just the arrangement just isn't there that fits that.
Right.
It's a different formula. It's a different kind of animal.
Yeah. And Greg's synthesizer is just perfect in there.
Yes. Greg worked a lot on this album, let's face it.
Well, and he was kind of Rick's favorite, I think. I do. I think
You're
he
my
was
little buddy.
teacher's.
So Rick was the skipper, and
Greg was
Greg's Gilligan. He's his little buddy.
He was kind of the teacher's pet of the band, I think.
Yeah. Well, I would guess you could say that as far as the songs go, and they probably had the closest musical relationship. I don't know about friendships, but
right.
Yeah.
I always kind of got the feeling that Greg could do all the things that Rick wished he could do, but just couldn't. Rick was a guitar player, but I think that if Rick could have absorbed all of Greg's talent into himself, I think he would have done it so that he could. I think that was all. I think those were all noises and stuff he wished he could get out, but on his little Casio, whatever that he recorded his demos on.
I'm saying, in all fairness, Rick plays a mean Casio keyboard, bossa nova tempo.
Oh my goodness sakes! His little demos, they're so cute. But yeah, it is. Yeah, I think that obviously there was so much talent in Greg that Rick wanted to tap into and just, absorb that. No wonder
that's
they worked so
what the
closely
sad
together.
song video is about.
Oh, Rick is the mad scientist trying to leech Greg's skills.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Thinking so. So here we are once again. You got this going into the slower songs or more mellow songs, and then all of a sudden they end up with "Hits Me" at the end, which I, as I recall, this is Greg's favorite song.
Oh, okay.
On this album.
Okay.
He really likes it, but it's got that classic Rick guitar riff, that dun 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 diddle dun dun dun. Got some great Greg sounds in here. And the great line, felt like an Ichabod Crane. Right? Or is looking like an Ichabod Crane.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one of those where I don't understand what he's singing about.
And he sings feeling that I got no sleep, and in the lyrics on the liner it says feeling like I got on sleep.
Oh, that must be just a typo, huh?
Could be. But this song does have a message, though. It's saying that he's just got to adapt to the changing world. We all have to get through it.
Well, yeah. I mean, the chorus part I get, but I guess I haven't really been able to decipher all of his other lyrics here. Because this is one of those ones where he's got a lot of obscure, I don't know, a lot of metaphors and I don't know.
Yeah.
This one's pretty thick lyrically. Then I just like. Again, we're at the end of the album. It's like I can't wade through all that you're saying, but I'll just sing the chorus to my little heart's content, and we'll be good.
Well, a lot of times, Rick puts in these lyrics just because he likes the way they flow, likes the way they sound, and they may not have any particular meaning for him.
Right.
But once again, as we listen to the song, we make our own interpretations. Of it, and it could be totally different from anything that he even remotely thought of.
Yes. That synthesizer.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's almost that eerie little haunted house, synthesizer.
Yes. So Jackknife Lee produced Blue Tip and Soon, Sad Song, Free, and one of the extras. on here, which is One by One.
Okay.
The rest were produced by the Cars.
Did he do Hits Me?
No.
No? Okay.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. He did do Hits Me.
Hits Me, yeah.
He did this one.
Well, it's interesting. He produced all my faves.
Yeah. So the Cars on their own produced Too Late, Keep on Knocking, Drag on Forever, Take Another Look, and It's Only.
Nice. Now, wasn't there, with Door to Door, originally didn't that say that it was produced by...
The Cars. Rick Ocasek and the Cars, I think is what it says.
Yeah, it seems like the first release of it or something had it listed one way, and then later it went back to being changed as the Cars.
Yeah.
So that's good. At least they get some, I'm assuming, some producer credit.
So as an ending song to this album, do you think Hits Me is the right song to end this album?
I don't know. I think
or what song would you rather have ended with?
What would I? Excuse that. Something a little more upbeat, I guess.
Maybe Free?
Maybe. I would hate to have to I'd hate to have to wait that long in the album to hear that song.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, so if this were on vinyl, it would be 5 and 5, right? So Free would have started the second side of the vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is good. So I don't know. Maybe even if they would have switched Hits Me with It's Only. I don't know.
Well, that's one of the ways that CDs kind of screwed things up, because you had side 1, side 2, and you had those, songs that kicked off the second side.
Right. Made it
and
part of an experience.
And they could play with that. And then once you went to CD, they're all just in a list, and they have to think, okay, how do we want this to flow? But I like how this album flows with its, upbeat kind of songs, and then kind of mellows out, and then in your face kind of songs and mellows out.
Yeah.
I think it does a good job of that. But, the thing about this is it's funny to me how favorites change over the course of your life. And, I know you haven't been into the music as long as I have, but, there was a time where, the debut album was number 1 for me all the time. And like I said, Just What I Need will always be my Desert Island song. Mm-hmm. But as I've gotten older and gotten into middle age or whatever, I'm drawn more to loving things that are returns of old favorites. And just to give you an example, like with Rocky, okay? I loved the movie Rocky, the very first movie Rocky. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm older, and I think it was in 2006, Rocky Balboa came out. And, it's about Rocky's at the end. He's an old guy now or whatever. I identify with that now.
Right, right.
The Force Awakens, Star Wars. I love that film. Why? Because it's got old Han Solo in there.
Right.
I wanted to be Han Solo when I was a kid watching the original Star Wars. Mm-hmm. And so The Force Awakens with old Han Solo in it, I identify with him.
Right, right.
And this album, it's in my top 2 now. Wow. Because it's these guys coming back and still showing that they've got it.
Right.
It has more maturity to it for me. It's an age thing.
Interesting.
My favorites have grown up with me, and so I identify with older Balboa, older Solo, and older Ocasek, I guess, for lack of a better way to say it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I would say right now, if I'm looking at favorite albums, Panorama has become a favorite. And I think probably um, giving a lot of credit to you and and getting that album back into my listening, and plus the fact it was remastered. I never liked it because it just sounded like crap.
Yes.
With it being remastered and with you, I think that's my big album now. But this one is my second.
Wow.
I think it's a good, solid album.
I agree. I think it's a good, solid album. But I think the reason I'm not where you are is because, like you already said, I haven't had the long history with the music yet. You know what I mean? With the earlier albums, in so many ways, they're still so fresh to me. And I'm sure they're fresh to you, but I mean, they're just timeline wise, I'm still in those early years of loving them.
Yeah.
And so I'm not quite there with Move Like This yet. And I know this isn't the same thing, but it made me think of, I actually, who I love now that I never got as a kid was Bob Seger. I love his music now, and I think because his themes are so mature, and he talks of these feelings, so many of these feelings toward, when you get into your 30s, 40s, 50s, and you're looking back on your life, he has a lot of songs that are just reminiscent of your growing years, and I just identify so much more with it now. I never got it growing up, and I certainly was not into old time rock and roll. Ugh.
I just think of Tom Cruise in his underwear.
Oh,
yeah.
That was so overhyped. Please. And it kicked off this whole, now every movie has to have the star doing some sort of singing of, like Julia Roberts singing the Prince song in the bathtub in Pretty Woman. And, just stop. Stop already. It's been beaten to death. Yeah. Anyway.
Yes. But, I'm happy if this is the Cars' last album. Do I want more? Hell yeah. Who doesn't want more?
Yeah.
But if this is it, I think it's a good ending spot for them. It's a hell of a lot better than the ending spot that Door to Door was.
Agreed. Big time.
This album is leaps and bounds better than Door to Door.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Now that I said yeah, I take it back because it has Ben on it. Sorry.
Well, that's true.
It's got Ben, and nothing beats Ben in my opinion.
I understand that.
The worst Ben songs to me are better than any Cars song.
Would you say the worst Ben songs are better than any song on this album? I don't know about that. First of all, what are the worst Ben songs? I don't think there are any bad Ben songs.
That's what I was trying to think. Yeah. That's what I was trying to think. What do I mean?
Name one song that Ben sings that's crap. You can't name one.
I can't. You're right.
Every song he's done is fantastic.
Yes, but you still have to rank them. I mean, we have our favorites. So I'm saying the worst of all the songs. It's just like I always say. There's the Cars umbrella. I love everything the Cars, but within that, some things aren't my favorite, and
yeah.
But I would never reject anything of the Cars.
Kind of like I'm in Touch with Your World is not one of my favorite Cars songs. But so, what would you rank as your least favorite Ben song?
Oh gosh. What would I? Because I like the Lace. I like the...
Well, I'm talking Cars song that Ben sang.
Oh, only the Cars catalog?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
I couldn't even begin to tell you.
I know. I couldn't do it. I don't know. Okay, well.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
But that's more of because of the song, not because of his performance.
Right. And so would I take That's It over any song on this album? No. I mean, if I had a choice of, are you going to listen to That's It or Blue Tip or Free?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, I don't like this topic anymore.
Well, my original point being that this is a good, solid album, and going back to the people who may not have purchased this yet, do it.
Yes, for sure. It is so worth listening to. There's a lot of great music on here. And again, if you can set aside, if your reason for not listening is because you don't feel like it's the Cars because Ben's not on it, again, just try to remember that Ben probably would have been on it if he could have. It's not like they ditched him.
Yeah.
And, went on without him. They had no choice. And the fact that they didn't replace him speaks volumes. They all said and have said repeatedly, they love him, they miss him. Could he have been on here? They would have preferred that above all things. And so it's just the way it went. You have to just take it that way and understand that they did their best they could without him, and it's great.
Yep. So this ends our album dissections of all the Cars studio albums.
Yeah.
We've, as a team or as partners, we've listened to every Cars album together on this podcast. Kind of cool.
Very cool.
Kind of cool that we did that. It's kind of like we're 12 and we're on the phone.
Yeah.
And did you ever do that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember doing that a lot with Stairway to Heaven. Holy shit.
Oh.
Listen to this part. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yikes. A lot of Michael Jackson for me. Michael Jackson was a big one. The Monkees. Listened to a lot of the Monkees on the phone with friends. But even in college, I remember my buddy in college, only 2 people from my high school went to the same college. It was me and my friend Jeff. And I was only kind of friends with him before I went to college. But then after, of course, being the only 2 Decatur high school kids over at Eastern, we ended up spending a lot of time together. And so I can remember being on the phone and talking with him and listening to Living Color. I think was the band. The song was called Cult of Personality.
Yeah.
And I can remember listening to that with him and just talking on the phone. And yeah, that was in college. So it's a cool thing to do.
Yeah, it is. It's a lost art.
I agree.
Definitely.
I agree. Now people can't be on their phones and listen to the music because they're too busy on their phones.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. All right. So we hope everybody enjoyed our album dissections of the Cars albums. And like I said, we will eventually get to looking at Rick's solo albums and kind of going through those, because I think Donna really has to experience a lot of Rick's solo stuff. I really enjoyed it.
I do need to dive deep into that. And of course we'll cover Elliot and Ben and Greg, see what Dave was up to. And yeah.
Sure thing. All right. Midnight Scroll. Do we have anything for the Midnight Scroll?
I do have something to read for the Midnight Scroll. Do you?
We do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I have a couple things.
Oh boy.
So why don't we start with mine, then you do yours, and then I'll do mine.
Okay. Yes.
Why don't you run that Midnight Scroll music?
Here we go.
Take me apart 'cause I'm out of control. Send me a letter on the Midnight Scroll.
All right, so our first entry into the Midnight Scroll is actually a personal message that our friend BB, Brett Bassel, sent to me.
Hey.
And I just thought it was an interesting question, wanted to share it with everybody.
Okay.
It says, "Hi, Dave." Notice he didn't say, "Hi, Dave and Donna."
I know. This is not even addressed to me. Should I be hearing this? Do you have permission to share? He obviously doesn't want me to hear it. Wow.
It goes on, "Donna really gets on my nerves."
Oh, rats.
Yeah. No, it's "Hi, Dave. I've seen the videos on YouTube," and he's referring to How Did You Do It?
Oh, okay.
By Dave Juskow. Said, "I've seen the videos on YouTube, and that song is downright awesome as fuck." God bless you, Brett.
That's pretty awesome.
Using my favorite word. Says, "How much of a soundtrack is there for the movie?" So, and I didn't really even think about it before, how much of a soundtrack there was. And, I replied to him, no, not really. There's 2 songs by Rick Hendrickson. And then the one by Frank Stallone.
Which is awesome.
Dent, dead end.
Greg and his leg warmers. Best.
A couple by the Cautions. And then you've got Dave Juskow's song.
Mm-hmm. 2 songs.
That's in there. And then the rest is Cars instrumentals that Eric Barrow did. Since You're Gone, Hello Again, and I believe Up and Down. I can't think of any others that are in there. So I guess there'd be enough in that movie to do a soundtrack album kind of thing, or to make a playlist on Spotify or whatever of.
Yeah. You have to add in the evil Phil Collins.
Oh, yes,
track.
Evil Phil Collins. We'd have to add that in. I forgot about that one. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, as far as, when it comes to movie soundtracks, I always enjoy them if they're put in the order that they come in the movie.
Yes.
So you can kind of play it in your mind. The movie soundtracks I don't like are the ones that are songs inspired by the movie that were never in the movie.
Yeah. That's about
They do that a lot, which I think like Rick did one of those. He did the song Crash for the movie Crash, but the song isn't in the movie as far as I know.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
It's have you ever heard that cut?
I don't think so.
It is I'm drawing a blank. It's off his Fireball Zone album.
Okay.
And I think it's Rockaway. It's using the lyrics of Rockaway for a different song.
Oh.
So, I mean, it's interesting to listen to, but it's not really a separate song. It's just kind of a rehash of the lyrics for the song Rockaway.
Interesting. Don't you just wonder what goes into making those kinds of decisions? Like with Rick. I mean, remember back in the 80s when he said, I don't think we would ever use Cars music for commercials. And of course now, there's a bunch of commercials out. I mean, and then things like that. Like, to me, Rick has always seemed so, not possessive of his lyrics, but something else. Just like, I don't know how to describe it, but you just wouldn't think he would go, oh, okay, well, I'll just rework this for your movie. Because his lyrics, they are what they are. They take on a little life of their own, and I don't know. I always just wonder how things get presented to him and how he makes his decisions. It's interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's a good question there, BB.
Yeah, thanks, BB.
All right.
My turn?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. This is a wonderful letter from Scott Belgard. And I'll just read it because it'll introduce who he is in the letter. And this is referring to the last podcast we did covering the CD Substitution Mass Confusion, Just What We Needed, and the fan-made Ben Orr tribute CD. Okay, so that's what this is in response to. It says, hello. My cousin Tim Belgard excitedly left me a message at 3 a.m. that we were mentioned on your podcast. I've been listening to Night Thoughts on my hourly commute to work, but I'm behind and just finished listening to your show on the Panorama album. Tim and I did the Don't Go to Pieces cover in my home studio, named Frozen Fire, for the Ben Orr tribute CD. Tim has since loaded the song to YouTube, and I'll post the link below. It also has the credits for the song, which I'll attach below as well. Donna mentioned her like of our band/project's name, Monophonics Monkey. It comes from a bit of synth nerd humor and South Park. A monophonic synthesizer can only play one note at a time, while a polyphonic synthesizer can play multiple notes or chords. So the plural of monophonic should be polyphonic, not monophonics. Hilarious. He wrote the hilarious, not me. In a South Park episode around that time, Cartman ordered a phonics monkey who would play a little drum kit to help Cartman in a spelling bee. So that's how the name came together. Monophonics Monkey. I first became aware of Don't Go to Pieces when I bought the Panorama sheet music book and saw all the songs from the album plus this mystery song. It was a B-side for a single I had never seen in the store. At least with That's It, The single Let's Go was popular enough so I was able to find it and listen to it. With Don't Go to Pieces, I had to be content with playing it, in my limited ability, from the sheet music. I was convinced that the main riff was a Greg Hawkes synth riff, especially since he co-wrote the tune and it just sounded like his style. A few years later, after discussing the tune with a guy I met at ROTC training, I received the 45 of the single from him that he was able to find in his hometown of Cleveland. Cool dude. I was quite surprised to hear the riff was done by Elliot. Not to be blasphemous, and as much as I love Elliot, I always thought the riff should have been done by the keyboard, and so when Tim and I did the cover, that's the way we did it. You have our permission to play the song anytime you wish, as many times as you wish. I enjoy your show. Please keep up with the Cars evangelizing. Scott Belgard, Rolette, North Dakota.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Why don't we go ahead and play that cut?
Yeah,
I know people have listened to the gone to the YouTube link and so forth, but let's play it on the pod. Why
Perfect. Not? I'll do it. Well, should we go out with it?
No, play it now.
Play the whole thing now, okay?
Yeah.
Here we go.
What's
All right. Yeah, I do. I love that. They did a great job on that.
Yeah, I remember. Well, I think I said that on the last pod. I remember hearing that before from Tim and just really enjoying it. And in fact, after we did that show, I can't remember if I might have messaged Tim and told him we mentioned it or something, but somehow Tim and I got talking about it, and he actually sent me several tracks. When he had started an album, and he sent me he has some really great music, some songs he wrote himself that are just really great. So I told him, I hope you get on that. And then here's the other cool thing. He is finishing getting his degree, and he in one of his classes, and I don't remember right off the top of my head how it worked, but one of the assignments during, leading up to finals week was to choose a podcast that had something to somehow mesh with his interests or whatever. Anyway, he played our podcast, a section of our podcast.
No.
Yes,
really?
for his college assignment. Yes, he played it for his class and for part of his assignment. Of course, he said his classmates just thought it was so cool that we mentioned him, and because he played that whole section. So I thought that was really cool.
Wow.
We're on college campuses now, or
We're
least
in college.
or at least we were for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Excellent.
So very cool. Scott, thank you for writing in. I love it.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so speaking of our buddy BB, he's been asking lately, where's Rico? Where's Rico?
Oh,
what happened to
boy.
Rico?
Oh, BB.
Yeah, I know. He loves the Rico.
He does
So
indeed.
we do have a short note from Rico tonight.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Let me
Let's
get the
hear it.
lozenges ready. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different than what Rico's usually saying. I think Rico is getting a little bit more adept at the whole internet thing. He's starting to expand his skill set.
Oh, boy.
I think. I'll just by looking at this, I can tell.
Okay.
So anyway, all right, here we go. Greetings to you, my podcast friends. Hey, it's me, your old pal Rico. So I was reading on the socialized media about that book thingy in Boston with Joe Killerman. I seen where you posted what not to do when visiting Boston. So just in case you's wondering, here's a quick guide from your pal Rico of what not to do when visiting Staten Island.
Oh, boy. I'm bracing myself.
When coming to Staten Island, don't do nothing fucking stupid. We already got stupid here. Look around. There's stupid everywhere. We don't need no more stupid, my friends. As those business administrators would say, the supply of stupid here in Staten Island is bigger than the demand for stupid, which makes stupid the fucking cheap. Now, most schmoes from out of town want to know where the zoo is. Where's the zoo? Where's the zoo? Where's the zoo? Where's the zoo? Can't you smell it? You know that cartoon where the humans are grilling on the charcoal and the smoke lingers over to a sleeping dog? And then the smoke takes the form of a human fucking hand and pulls at their sleeping mutt by the nose through the air while he's still sleeping? Yeah, it's like that. Only those ain't French you're smelling, my friend. That's monkey logs. And Rico has like a little poop emoji.
Oh, look at
Which
him.
I'm very proud of him to do. Yeah. Trust
BB
me.
will like that.
Yeah. You want to find the zoo, follow your nose. And another thing. Unless you're legally blind, no, I ain't giving you directions to the fucking Bayonne Bridge. It's right over there. Can't you see it? Walk that way, you moron. As a matter of fact, don't come to the island at all. All you're doing is making more traffic, which makes me late. So stay home or go to Boston or wherever the fuck. P.S. Hey, make sure you wear your Yankees hat in Boston. They love that. You'll get discounts and stuff. I swear on my Nana Casika Machiavelli's life. And he's got 3 of the happy faces crying, laughing.
Right.
That was pretty cool. More P.S.
Oh.
Hey, You like them there emojifications? Yeah, I'm like Bertolio Basilovici now. Your Fanorama fucking friend, Rico.
Wow.
Oh, there you go, BP. Yeah.
Oh, Rico. We haven't heard from him for a while, like you said.
Yeah. He's around. He's around. All right. Well, folks, that's our show. We hope you enjoyed it. As always, thanks for listening.
Yes. I'm trying to think of what we have coming up next.
I do not know. I have no clue. I'm not thinking that far ahead.
I have to look on my notes. But in June, we're gonna be talking Boston stuff in June. So
We're going to be talking Boston in June. That is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. As always, people, until next time, stay fresh, cheese bags.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Night Thoughts, the Cars podcast. Wherever you found us, iTunes, SoundCloud, or YouTube, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. Send us an email for the Midnight Scroll at nightthoughtspodcast@gmail.com. As always, Night Thoughts reserves the right to edit or not read an email on the air. You can follow us on Twitter at The Cars Podcast. Grab yourself a podcast t-shirt at tpublic.com/user/Night All the cool kids are wearing them. Oh, and finally, search for The Cars Night Thoughts on Facebook and join our group page. P.S. I am totally Team Rick.